You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Boss, you opened it. We came.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Call you Meatloaf Surprise, Sydney.
Welcome to a brand new episode of How I Met Your Monster. If you're not already subscribed to the show, you know what to do. Go to Apple, go to Spotify, anywhere you find your podcasts, hit the button, smash that like button, bro. Smash the follow button, bro. Click that bell icon. I don't know if there's a bell icon. Just fucking smash something, bro.
Yeah.
Today, we are driving headfirst into our next monster in this triple feature in a car that probably shouldn't run as good as it does, given the fact that it was bought for the price of a plane ticket. That was wild. But today we're talking the 2001 thriller Joyride.
Yes.
With Paul Walker, Steve Zahn, Lily Sobieski, and I want to say maybe Ted Levine.
I mean,
he counts.
Because,
of course.
Yeah, but I have like a very strong bone to pick with the ending of this movie.
There's a couple things I would like to talk about then.
Because he's not the face of the character?
Yes, but not. Oh, there's more to it. Because I don't even think they're the same person.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get to it. To it. But had you guys seen this movie before when it came out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved this movie.
I used to watch this quite a bit when it came out. And then I stopped.
And then you stopped.
That Joyride ended.
Yeah.
Same.
I saw it when it came out, but I didn't really remember how it played out. I thought when we were trying to decide on movies to watch, and a movie that I wanted to pick was The Hitcher. And there's that scene in The Hitcher where he ties the lady up between like two semis and he's like driving away, or like a pole and a semi or something. And he pulls her apart. And I thought that was this movie.
Oh, no.
But it wasn't.
It was not, no.
Although body parts were torn apart, it just wasn't the same body part. Yeah.
How do you pull somebody's jaw off? How do you pull somebody's jawbone off?
I'll show you. Hey, Cody.
Cody, don't come in here. Don't come in here. Cody, don't open the door. Don't open the door. Don't open the door.
No, that's a good question. One might consider that he might have a supply of tools in his truck.
Yeah.
Or they're implying that he's so strong that he could just like, grip it and rip it, kind of.
Rip it and grip it. So, yeah, of course, we're talking about Rusty Nail, who is our monster.
Of course.
Of course.
Rusty Nail.
Who is the monster in Joyride.
Hey there, who's this?
Rusty Nail.
Well, Rusty Nail, I hope you're doing better than I am. Man, this drive, it seems like it's taking forever.
Roger that, Candy Cane.
Okay, so Casey, this was your pick in our car trouble triple feature. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Joyride? What is it about?
It is about 3 young people who go on a road trip from Colorado to New Jersey. They talk to a trucker on their CB radio.
Radiator.
They talk to a trucker on their CB radio, and then they must escape when he turns out to be a psychopathic killer.
Ooh. Have you guys ever talked on a CB radio before?
I don't
Never
think
actually.
So.
No?
Mm-mm.
Have you?
Have you?
No. But, like when you got walkies on film sets and stuff, you use kind of the same language.
Oh.
Like they're like, what's your 20?
Then for good buddy.
You know what I
You
know?
breaker?
Yeah.
Looking for a breaker?
I don't think say like, but like, they said like, what's your 20? And like, that's like, where are you? But what I always thought was funny on film sets, when you have to go to the bathroom and you're like doing your thing and you go on the radio and you say, hey, I'm going, I got a 10-1 means you got to go pee 10-1. And you got to say 10-2 means you're going to be gone for a while because you're taking a shit.
Wow.
And I always thought that was weird to say like on the radio, being like,
It is weird.
shouldn't it just be like like one number for like, I'm going to the bathroom?
Yeah. Either way. And then I'll let you know when I come back.
Someone's like, I'm on a
No.
10-3, and everyone's like, what?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
10-16.
Oh, God. Call
Keep
the
them
police. Keep them guessing.
So, Danny, I think you mentioned this last week, maybe, or it was just in a conversation between us, but this was written by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Something I did not know until recently.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. When it starts, you can see it's a Bad Robot production. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
You know what I love about that fact is J.J. Abrams has sort of molded his career. I wouldn't say, all right, maybe that's not the right. I think his inspiration, that seems fairly obvious, especially the fact that he ended up working with him, is Steven Spielberg. You know, when you look at movies like Super 8 and just his style and filmography in general. But Steven Spielberg's first movie that he had done was the TV movie Duel, which is pretty much the same concept of this movie, which is about, in that case, just a single guy who is sort of at odds with a trucker. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
It's a fun little connection that you would sort of break. I don't know. Well, I guess he didn't break out with Joyride, but he had already been writing for TV. But I'm looking up right now because aside from Joyride,
dude. Okay. Wait a second.
What?
J.J. Abrams wrote Regarding Henry.
That's what I was trying to confirm, and I couldn't load
which
it quickly
I
enough.
fucking used to watch that movie all the time.
Me
I
too.
loved that movie.
Zach and I had the same childhood.
Which is weird for like a child to just like love that movie. And another one that I used to watch all the time that he wrote, Forever Young, with Mel Gibson and Jamie Lee Curtis and Elijah Wood.
I didn't know he wrote that.
Man.
That's so funny.
So good. And then he wrote Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
And
JJ.
Get this, right before Joyride, he wrote the screenplay for Armageddon.
I did not know any of that.
Man,
except
he
for
was
Regarding Henry.
Yeah. Casey, have you ever seen Regarding Henry?
No.
When I was a kid, I thought it was pronounced regarding Henry, like we're guarding Henry again.
Again.
Like an idiot.
So Harrison Ford is like this big shot defense lawyer or something. Like he puts the bad guys away, or he keeps the bad guys out of jail.
Prosecutor.
I think. I don't know. He's like
a defense lawyer would be keeping them out.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. He's like makes a lot of money and he's like a prick. And then he's
probably a prosecutor.
Okay. And then he's in like a convenience store and it gets robbed and he ends up getting shot in the head.
Oh.
And he survives, but he like has to start over. And so he has to like learn to talk again and like learn to walk again and all this stuff. And he's kind of like almost like a child, like growing up. And then he like finds out like what his life was like and then trying to like figure out his marriage with Annette Bening. And it's just like really good.
It's a great movie.
Okay. So Joyride. Are you guys ready to meet our monster?
Yeah. Should we buckle up first? Are there seatbelts?
Yeah, we got to go fast.
Yeah. Well, first you gotta sell it. You gotta refund your plane ticket.
Oh yeah.
Dude, how much?
Such a doable process.
Like, it's like the car shouldn't run, right? For the price of a plane ticket, like a few $100.
Yeah.
You know, I was just looking at plane tickets from here to Orlando, and they were only like $260.
That'll get you a car in Laramie,
2001?
Wyoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a CB radio for $40.
Isn't he in like?
He's in California,
Yeah,
I thought.
his brother says something about
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess he starts in California and then goes Because at one point they're in Wyoming and then they're in Colorado.
Yeah.
But they're going to New Jersey.
I don't know geography. So all of those states are just like
Well, I think
here.
So I'll tell you this. It's
Wyoming is east of Colorado, isn't it?
It's east, but it northeast.
So they
And San
passed
Diego
it, and then he
is
went back.
southwest. Yeah, so he's going up to Wyoming.
Because he went to Salt Lake City to pick up his brother.
Wait, then why was he in Wyoming?
I don't remember.
Am I crazy? Maybe it wasn't Salt. I thought it was Salt Lake City.
No, his brother was in Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to do something that's a little crazy. I'm going to pull up a map.
Do it.
Whoa, just like the old days.
Because I'm pretty sure you're going up from San Diego to Salt Lake City. I feel like you would have to go up like northeast to Laramie, Wyoming, and then south to Boulder, Colorado.
Do you have the map?
And then obviously east to, let's see. Okay, so I'm looking at the map and I actually think it might be right, but I'm just double checking because Wyoming is north and it would be out of the way. But now I'm looking at what route they might have taken, and the highway that they were on might actually put Laramie in there.
Yeah. Okay.
But wait, Salt Lake City is in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't. No, they would have. Where's Salt Lake City?
So
I don't
I'm
think.
looking at the
Let's
map
go
now.
back to the starting point. I don't think Berkeley is in San Diego.
Oh yeah, no,
Well,
I think it's up by you, Danny.
it is.
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That makes more sense, actually.
It does matter where their starting point is.
There's a maritime museum of San Diego called the Berkeley. Maybe he told people he went to Berkeley, but he just worked on a ferry boat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let's meet this monster. Okay, so we are meeting Rusty Nail, who is a psychotic truck driver from somewhere in the U.S.
It's kind of a great name when you think about it, Rusty Nail.
Yeah.
Because it's
is.
sort of innocuous, like a nail, but it's like this lingering thing that kind of follows you, you know, like you could get the illnesses that you can get from the rusty nail.
Ah, tetanus.
It should have been Buffalo Bill, though.
Oh, that would have been great. Would that have taken people out of the movie, you think? Or do you think it would have been a nice little wink? I'm winking, by the way.
Oh no.
That would change the ending to Silence of the Lambs for sure.
Oh, there are 2 Silence of the Lambs references in this movie.
Yes. Well,
Right?
I got one. I don't know what the second one was.
Well,
but-
just him. It being the first. Yeah.
And I think I know what you're talking about in the second
Yeah.
one, but we'll get to
there.
that. Casey, do you want to read the biography we have for Rusty Nail? And this is pulled directly from Villains Wiki on Fandom.
All right, Rusty Nail.
And and listeners, just to preface this biography does encapsulate Joyrides 2 and 3 to give Rusty Nail a full
to fully understand.
to fully understand
A
the
comprehensive
man behind the
breakdown
Rusty Nail. Yeah.
of our monster.
So let's meet Rusty Nail.
All right. Not much is known about Rusty Nail, but what is known about him is that he is a homicidal lunatic.
I don't know
Almost
much about
messed
that
one up
guy,
there.
but I do know that he is a homicidal lunatic.
He has an extremely aggressive temper, and all who cross his path are completely at his mercy. One thing known about him is that he owns a farmhouse out in the country where he lives.
Oh,
Yeah, when he's, not on his long haul
Wait.
trucking job.
kind of sweet.
Another thing about Rusty, good old Rusty, he at least has above average physical strength, especially considering that he does not seem to have a burly build, apparently.
Dude was pretty burly.
He is
in
able to tear a man's jaw off with one hand. He punishes
One
those who he
hand?
sees.
He doesn't use both hands?
That's what they say in this villains wiki. he probably, well, yeah, I don't know.
Well, you'd probably have
Why
to
would
hold
he even
the top of the mouth one and then pull the jawbone with the other.
I mean, I'm now more impressed.
What I was thinking
This
is you
one.
lay the guy down on the ground and you've got 1 foot on his chest and 1 foot on his forehead, and then you can just. That's what.
Oh my God! Jesus.
He punishes those who he sees as committing some form of injustice, especially when he himself is the victim of it. Though he has punished those who have wronged others besides himself as well, whether it's pulling a prank on him, taking one of his cars, or refusing a request. He has some quite nasty psychological mind games that create a bridge for gory, life and death situations that are very rarely escaped by his victims, which is not true. All of his victims got away scot-free in the first movie, let's be honest. Maybe 2 and 3 are a little bit
And
more
like,
intense.
I love how this paints him as having this moral code.
Right,
Yeah.
But it's more coincidence that they like just happened upon a psycho.
Well, definitely a lot of this biography is pulled from 2 and 3 because we don't know that much about him.
So
Right,
they must
and-
really like dig into
He
him.
actually, in the first one, he killed a man, like all the people that he killed actually weren't involved in the prank at all, so.
No. Kills the hotel manager, the neighbor.
The guy in the hotel room that had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
His face is hardly
anything.
Yeah. His face is hardly ever shown, but he normally talks to his victims through the CB radio. In Joyride 3, his full appearance is finally shown throughout. Throughout the 3 movies, the make, model, and his truck remain the same. A black Peterbilt 359EXHD.
I thought I recognized that truck.
However, the year of the truck is different. In the first movie, it's in 1985. In Dead Ahead, it's in 1984. And in Roadkill, it's in 1976.
I also love how his name is Rusty Nail, which could be ominous. But then when they just refer to him as Rusty, it kind of just like takes the wind out of all
it's just good old Rusty
the
living in a
scary
farmhouse.
Yeah.
Russ Griswold.
Russ.
Right here, Dad.
Right here, Dad.
Oh,
Russ! Yeah, Dad.
Oh, there you are.
God, I love that.
Me too.
And speaking of Joyride 3, which I have not seen, but Ken Kersinger plays Rusty Nail in Joyride 3, who also played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, wow. Do they keep Ted Levine's voice in all of them?
I don't know. But I do know that Ted Levine was brought in during post-production to record lines for this movie.
I am so glad you said that, because that kind of loosely answers a question that I had that will come up later about.
But I don't think it does
Rusty's
answer that
voice.
question, Danny, because I think I have the same questions as you.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it now.
Yeah, let's get
talk about it now?
let's get it
say-
out of the way.
So, okay, Danny, tell me if I'm on the right track with you, or do you want to bring up your question?
No,
first?
please go for it.
Okay, so I had such a hard time with the ending of this movie because when you see Rusty Nail in the hotel room, he is clearly played by a different actor. Mm-hmm. The actor says lines in the hotel room, and he does not sound like Ted Levine. So, and then going a little further, at the end of the movie, the guy who plows into the truck, he plows the truck into the hotel room and he's laying there dead. And they say, well, that's another question. Jesus Christ. So he plows into the truck and then you think, oh, he's dead. And then at the very, very end, you hear Rusty Nail back on the CB radio and he's like, oh God, the storm's coming, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So are they the same person, or was Rusty Nail somebody else and this guy was working like in cahoots with him?
No, I think Rusty Nail and the guy in the hotel room were the same person. He put the man from the ice truck into the car to fake them out, to make them think that he was dead. Even though that doesn't, I mean, that's what I assume happens. And they just decided not to answer all the general questions, such as, they all saw him and they could tell that wasn't him in the truck, but I guess they just decided not to question those people as far as what went on. I also assume that he probably would have had to rig the gas pedal so that it would keep going, because I doubt this guy is just going to put pedal to the metal and go like he's been told to.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they just decided to kind of throw all that out the window just to try and make the ending cool.
Well, yeah, because they find out like, oh, he was just some ice truck driver. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, ice truck? That's weird. We saw that earlier.
Right.
Wouldn't they had a conversation with that guy.
Yes.
And they would be
I
like,
love how
oh,
just because the camera doesn't show it, that means the characters didn't see it.
That's what I mean. They just decided, like, you know what? And I'm going off the fact that I was 12 when this movie came out. The 12-year-olds, they're not going to ask any questions. And it's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever thinking when I was 12, well, that doesn't make any sense. I was just like, he got away. Cool.
Yeah, I would argue that I should just say I love this movie. It's a lot of fun.
I like this
It was very good, yes.
That finale is the only part that kind of loses, kind of puts its foot on the brakes a little bit, to borrow a car term. I don't know if that applies, but you can know what I mean. I'm trying something.
Well, for the price that he bought that car, there's probably no brake lines in it or brake pads.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how the movie, the rest of the movie is really good. Then the end, the climax, they just decided to just jumble all this stuff together and not really,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm glad that they somehow
Follow through.
incorporated, a vehicle in the truck with it driving through, but it does kind of break my heart a little bit. Like I just watched, actually this morning before we recorded, I watched Breakdown.
Oh, so
and
good.
I was so satisfied by how they were able to weave in like a really satisfying car chase.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one kind of abandoned that. But to its, in its defense for Joyride, it's hard, I think, to get away with that because you don't see the villain. And that's like the whole like conceit of it is that you never see him. It's just the truck.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be a little more difficult to pull off. But yeah, to go back to your point, Zach, about like some questions that we had about the finale, that's what threw me off too. Casey, I think we're on the same page where I think he just kind of like strapped the guy's corpse, or let's just say the ice guy was dead, strapped into the truck and faked his death. But yeah, as far as his voice, I think that it's easy to be thrown off because it's like, was that someone working with Rusty Nail? Because Ted Levine's voice is so distinct.
Yeah.
Right.
We all know Ted Levine's voice. So to change it up in the finale, when you see him in person, it completely makes you question, like, wait, is this like a guy who works for him or is it someone else?
Yeah, because they either could have just not had him say anything because he only says like 2 words or something.
And it's kind of goofy when he's like, this is going to be hilarious. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, so either don't have him say something or dub in Ted Levine's voice.
Right.
Totally.
But, he just has a CB radio voice. He just uses a different voice on the radio.
Comes out on the radio.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about like even Steve Zahn when he was Mom's Boy, he was using a slightly different voice than his own. Paul Walker was pretending to be a woman, like, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair point, honestly.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating. And it does make me wonder if Ted Levine was, maybe they had the guy who was playing Rusty Nail just do the voice through and through. And it almost feels like a studio note, kind of like that voice needs to be something iconic, who has an iconic voice. And then, of course, Ted Levine. But I'm purely speculating.
Yeah.
I am going to look it up, though.
So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the movie, just have a little bit of
Absolutely.
just something random. Steve Zahn has the face of a man who has had multiple DUIs.
Oh.
Like, yeah, because I haven't watched a movie with him in a long time. It showed, and I was like, he looks like he's got DUIs.
Well, especially in this era of like, early 2000s, Steve Zahn was so good at playing that role of like, kind of like an eccentric deadbeat who's just, between this and Saving Silverman.
Yeah.
He does it so well. Yeah. So I think he is like the highlight, the star of this movie. He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He grounds it. Like that relationship with him and Paul Walker could have killed this movie. It could have been like a movie of the week kind of thriller. and it feels so genuine. And I really did appreciate it. I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But yeah, so Fuller, Steve Zahn, he definitely carries a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
Why is like Paul Walker, rest in peace, is so dramatic in this movie?
Yeah,
Like-
well, because he's a young college boy that's in love with a girl that he hasn't seen, and he needs to get there.
Yeah. And he's like, no more small talk about me, my relationships, or
Yeah.
whatever. And then he drives off the road and doesn't
Yes.
pull over.
Yeah.
He goes into a ditch, and it's like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm
Well,
down.
when you pay the price of a plane ticket for a car, you don't really take care of it, It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really matter.
He just flips the car
Right.
over because he's mad.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they're on their way to get Venna because Paul Walker, because Lewis is in love with Venna and he wants to go pick her up in his car so they can drive home to New Jersey together.
Yep. And fucking Fuller nails it when he's talking about like, this is what you're doing. Like you're in the friend zone. You're in love with this girl. You bought a car to go get her. You think she's gonna,
Maybe that's why
Yep.
Lewis is so upset and reacts so dramatically because he's like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
it's
He's
like,
like, I thought I was this mysterious, brooding figure, and he figured it'd be
You're
like
like,
2
no.
seconds.
you're just a teenager.
Yeah, you're not interesting.
But you know who's a jerk?
Oh.
Fuller.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, if you had any question as to what got him into jail, he
Oh, yeah.
reminds you what his personality and his true colors are.
Is a disgusting
Yeah.
douche of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For
Like-
Because does he even have? I mean, aside from like he helps Lewis save her life, which I would hope anyone would. Does he have a redeeming quality by like the end of the movie, like an arc?
No, I think that they just use the
He doesn't,
funny.
right?
He's like the funny guy, so it's like you automatically like him because he's funny.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's like
He's a weasel.
hitting on this girl that he knows his brother wants, and then is forcing her to drink more. And
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great guy.
no,
Because he doesn't really, the whole time he forces him to play the prank on the dude. Then he just keeps saying like, forget about it. Let's just go away. Like he keeps wanting to run away from the situation. Then even at the end, like he needs saving. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then even like little things, which isn't really a little thing, when he parks in the handicap spot, it's just these little character quirks that are just so gross.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's, Zach, to your point earlier when you were saying, which I still stand by, that Lewis is too dramatic, but I wonder if that is sort of revealing a little bit about his backstory with his brother, where it's like, you're already doing it. I'm remembering why I can't stand being near you. Like you are awful. And I'm getting just a little taste of it right now. So I'm going to like nip that in the bud before it goes any further.
Well, I also think that they're just like two extremes too. You know what I mean? Like Steve Zahn is so laid back that he's an asshole, and then
Yeah,
Paul Walker is super uptight, so he's very dramatic.
that's true.
But
Which
play
I
well.
almost wanted Fuller to not make it in the end.
Yeah.
I thought that would have brought like I don't know. I'm glad that he didn't, because like, even though he is like this jerk, like he is a likable character. But it would have brought like it would have hit harder if he didn't make it.
Especially
Yeah,
if
of
he
course.
maybe sacrificed himself. And,
Yeah.
like, made like a huge move.
There would have been his redeeming quality, right?
Yeah.
yeah, he did that a little bit by just going into the house or into the hotel room, but yeah, it still
That's
wasn't
true.
a full circle moment because
Yeah.
he was
He still
fine.
becomes the victim, and Lewis needs to keep saving
Yeah.
him. He's just he
Yeah.
becomes like another burden. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Now that we're
And
talking about it, it's a strange character.
they play the prank on Rusty Nail. They pretend to be Candy Cane, and they invite him to the hotel. He goes. They tell him to go to the room over next to theirs, and Candy Cane will be there or whatever. So Rusty Nail ends up killing the guy in the hotel room by ripping his jaw off. So after that, when they get back in the car, I guess it wouldn't really have mattered because Rusty Nail was following them. But I just am like,
Yeah.
why did you even answer him? Like when he tries to contact them on the radio, Just don't
exactly
say anything. But that's part of, you know.
Well, who answers them? Is it Fuller or is it Lewis that answers?
Fuller does first. And
Fuller,
then remember, and he's like, he says, "You're a sick fuck, leave us alone," blah, blah, blah. And then Lewis takes it away from him and he says, "Candy cane." He says, I'm a guy. And then he says, "Apologize." And he says, "I'm sorry." And then when Fuller takes it back, he says, "You're not getting an apology, you sick fuck."
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
Okay. So I guess that is like,
not that
if ever there was someone to respond and not go the route of like the level-headed person and do what we would all do, it's Fuller.
Yeah. And how about that
Fuller's
line?
I'm adjusting my real monster segment when we get to that.
He's in mine.
Spoilers.
How about that taillight line?
I love it. So good.
Apologize.
Right. No, just do it. Apologize to him? Yeah. Yo, I'll do it. Listen, you sick fuck. Pathetic, lonely, walkie-talkie, freak show motherfucker. You're not getting anything from me. You know why? Because I have something more powerful than your psychosis. It's called a volume knob. And the only thing I need to do to make you go away is to turn it counterclockwise. You got that? You copy that?
You're no black sheep. You really ought to get that fixed.
Get what fixed?
Your tail light.
Yeah,
because that's the first time you realize that he's like following them.
Yeah, that he actually knows who they are.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
So what would you say is like the first time we hear Rusty Nail's voice? Is that technically the first time we meet the monster, or is it when he actually arrives at the hotel? Because I feel like this is a tricky one.
I think it's when you hear his voice.
Okay. Which I guess we get a little taste of in the opening credits. So Rusty Nail's like all over this movie from beginning
all
to end.
over it. He's all
can't escape
over
him.
it.
Candy cane. Anybody out there know candy cane? What would be your guys' trucker name?
Wolf Mother? Is it too obvious?
Wolf Mother? Yeah, there you go. What would be my trucker name? Is Big Rig too confident?
Big Rig.
I feel like there are multiple Big Rigs, so it would be like a username, or it's like Big Rig 425. Like it's got to be like there's like quite a few before you have to distinguish yourself with a number.
Be like,
this is X underscore Big Rig underscore XX22.
Yeah.
At Yahoo.
Yeah. Oh man. Danny?
Mine, I would want mine to be something.
I got a new one. I'm switching from Big Rig real quick. Before I don't want you to steal this in case this was yours. Mine would be Salty Dog.
Salty Dog.
Why?
I don't know. It just popped in my head.
Why do you think Danny would steal that? Why do you think that's what Danny was thinking?
I wanted to be careful. I wanted to. I didn't want to take any chances.
Salty Dog, and he's promoting his OnlyFans, Salty Dog. It's all about being economical when you're riding a rig in this wild country. No, I was trying to think of a name that tied into my sign off with like the M&Ms and the 2 M's and the melt in your butt. So
breaker, this is butt chocolate.
I was gonna say that.
No, butt candy.
That's so gay.
All right, so Wolf Mother, Salty Dog, and Butt Candy.
Breaker, this is butt candy.
I was gonna say butt melt because it was like melt in your butt, but I like butt candy.
No, butt candy.
I hear you, my candy. This is Salty Dog. Come in, Wolf Mother.
Mine's not funny, but you know.
Casey's is just ow, ow.
Breaker break this. Ow.
Oh, it's still not funny, Danny. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just not a funny guy. It's whatever.
Okay, so
the next is the gas station incident. I don't know if.
oh
if you
my
just
gosh, yes, the gas station.
You like that?
Why? Okay, so they they pull over, they get off the highway onto a side road. They go to the gas station. The ice truck pulls up, and the dude gets out with like a baseball bat, which he later says, "Oh, my tire thumper." Like, you were scared of that? Why would you carry it into the convenience store with you?
What if he was just like checking the pressure on everything? He just like, if you were to follow him, he's like tapping everything.
He's just smashing stuff.
He's like, I can't help myself.
I don't know. I mean, people that working, if those are a real thing and truckers actually use them, I'm sure that gas station attendants have seen them before and just don't think anything of it. So,
do truckers use tire thumpers? Tire thumper assists the truck driver and operator in a quick method of evaluating properly inflated tires. Yeah, it's just like a club.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they probably don't think anything of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he just felt cool.
He probably did feel kind of cool.
He's like
trying to pick up the cashier. Like, hey,
at a gas station.
got my thumper.
You got a big thumper.
She's like, ooh, that's a big thumper you got there.
Do you need your pressure checked?
Lewis is in the background just listening. He just
in his
stays
candy cane voice?
Candy cane character the whole movie. He can't. He's like, I really found myself with this voice.
He's like, I can't stop talking like candy cane.
I give Paul Walker a lot of credit. He's like funny in this movie, and I was very surprised by that. Putting on that voice, I thought was funny.
You liked it?
Well, this same year this came out, 2001. Paul Walker and Ted Levine were both working on Fast and the Furious together.
Right.
Ted Levine's in that movie?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's like the...
Is he the voice for Vin Diesel? What if Vin Diesel starts talking? It says Ted Levine.
The Fast and the Furious, Ted Levine plays Sergeant Tanner.
Oh, you know what's funny? I haven't seen Fast and the Furious in a while, but now that you're saying it, am I just picturing him because I want to picture him?
So the gas station, they think that the ice truck guy is Rusty Nail. It turns out that it's not. He does follow them because Lewis leaves his credit card.
Yeah.
But then...
And that guy, he's determined to get...
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Lewis his credit card back.
Hey, it was a different time, too, because it's not like... Because in today's world, you could find that person without having to get in your car. But in 2001, you kind of would have to drive after them.
There's a whole short film where it's just the ice truck driver printing out MapQuest to like find these two guys.
So
they take off and they're speeding away down this dirt road. They break through a mailbox. They're and he's like plowing after them.
Yeah.
And then he like gets out all calm. He's like, "Hey, got your card."
We have guns. I have a credit card. Yeah, and then the real Rusty Nail shows up and just plows through the ice truck and chases after him, and then they hit that tree. I love
it. It's so over the top, and I love it.
It is.
Mm-hmm. When they slam into the tree just because Lewis had to look back behind him, and then there's like, oh shit, there's a tree in front of us. But then it's like quiet for a minute, and then his lights come on and the horn honks. Oh my God. I jumped.
Yeah. And did you?
Yeah, I totally jumped.
I love how slowly he just inches up and smashes the car up against the tree.
Yeah, that was
tense. Cool. And then they get their windows and the windshield fixed. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't say the name of the movie, but Paul Walker does say the name of our triple feature.
Oh, does he?
We're having some car trouble.
He says they were having some car trouble.
Yep.
And then they finally pick up Venna.
Yeah, so they do finally get Venna, and this is where we see Fuller being like, oh, shit, like, she's not, what did he call her, like, the blinker before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, wow, she's good looking. But
Yeah.
this is where we meet Charlotte, and I was like, okay, what is the point of them introducing this girl who's just going to take off?
Right.
Then when you find out later that Rusty Nail has kidnapped Charlotte, and it's like Venna's whole point, like, we need to go save her, whatever. I wanted more of Charlotte in the movie so that it meant something to us.
We could care about her. Yeah.
Because I was like, who cares about Charlotte? Just, we don't even know who she is. Just let her go.
Throw her in the opening scene. We see, it's funny because we see Paul Walker's roommate. I feel like we should have seen her roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I just would have made, even just that little scene would have made it a little bit more.
Just give Lily Sobieski the dialogue. Easy fix.
Yeah. And speaking of Lily Sobieski, she now goes by Lily Kimmel, and she does not act anymore. She has a art career, a successful art career.
Really?
Sculpting and abstract painting. Yeah.
Oh,
For her.
I love that.
She stopped acting in like 2012, I think.
She's like, I heard the world
and had some
in
raised some
2012.
kids.
I need to pivot.
But you can follow her on Instagram, and her art is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's very abstract.
It's all influenced by Joyride.
That's right.
They're just all rigs.
So, okay, you guys have taken road trips before, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So many.
If you are driving on a road trip, as Lewis, Fuller, and Venna are, and Venna is taking over the driving duties, she stops at a gas station and goes inside and gets stuff. Mm-hmm. In your personal experience, do you let your passengers just keep sleeping and go in? Or do you say, like, hey, do you guys need a break? Like, should we go in? Do you need something to drink? We did go to the bathroom. We're here. We're stopped. Or do you just let them sleep?
That depends on your passenger.
Okay.
I can't imagine
Matt?
Okay.
If I wake Matt up, he's fucking mad.
Oh, okay.
I know what he likes. I'll grab him.
From my experience, I feel like people auto wake up when you stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, what's going on? Where are we? Oh, shit.
That was good. I felt like you were actually on a road trip and just stopped at a gas station.
I feel like anybody that I know that I went on a road trip with, I know what they like. So if I were just to go in, and I would get a snack or a drink for somebody because I know what they like. And then the bathroom thing, I'm not one of those people when I'm on a road trip. If you have to pee every 30 minutes, we'll stop every 30 minutes if you have to pee. I don't care. You know,
I'll just go for them if that's the case. If we're rushing, I'll be like, no, I went for you.
We'll pee in bottles like in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you, a camel? So when she gets back in the car and she's like, I got you this hat or whatever, Lewis like puts his arm around her and they're like cuddled up, which seemed weird. It seemed like they jumped a step from being like friends to being like real close, cuddled up. And then Fuller wakes up from the back seat. He's like, this is the part where you kiss the girl. Like, and then he's like, historically.
Fuller.
Oh, Fuller.
The more I think about it, the less I like him, though.
Yeah, but he's funny.
Steve.
So it's okay.
It was a different time, Danny.
Yeah. I do feel like Steve
Him
Zahn,
pressuring the girl to drink.
If you had gotten a different actor, they may not have been able to translate what was on the page onto screen in a as charming a way as he does. So I think he deserves some credit for that.
Then they go drinking. They stop and they go drinking, and I think they're underage, but Fuller's buying them drinks, and but there's a little altercation, and Fuller saves the day again, which he does kind of get them out of some situations. I'll give him that.
That's true. He's more street smart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then
he's a criminal.
Yeah. But then he takes advantage of Venna a little bit, tries to get her drunk. And you can see, like, right when she opens the door, she's like disappointed that it's not Lewis. She's like, oh, Lewis.
And she says no a handful of times before he gets inside.
Yeah. And then we get another reveal of Rusty Nail when he calls Lewis's room. Ugh. Yeah. And he's just like, he knows everything that's going on. He's like, why is your brother in the room?
He's still following them.
So they get on the road. They're driving away. There's the signs that say, look in the trunk, right? So Rusty Nail would have had to pre-spray paint all of those signs, right? Backwards. He thought it out. He's like, okay, they're going to see this one first, then this one, then this one. First, they're going to go this way.
He knows where they're going.
Oh, okay.
What if he had like a lot more to say? So like, when they do the reveal that says Lewis, what if it was like, and then? And they're like, oh, wait. And they drive forward and it just keeps going.
That's like a scary movie. That would be like a scary movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Or he gets like a cop pulls up while he's spray painting one of the signs. They're like, hey, what are you doing there, buddy? Nothing.
Just writing a message for my friend Lewis.
The cop's like, what are you doing there, buddy? And like he turns around and he's speechless. He doesn't know what else to say, and he just says, candy cane. It's like cop's like, what?
The cop just drives away. He's like, okay, not dealing with this.
So yeah, he has them look in the trunk, and they find the CB radio, and he tells them to go to the State Line truck stop or whatever. This time it's in the middle of the day, and he makes Lewis and Fuller walk into the diner, order 6 cheeseburgers each, but they have to do it naked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he wants them to feel the humiliation that he felt being at the other end of a joke.
They have nothing to be humiliated by. They look wonderful.
Well,
nice butts for sure.
Nice butts.
Nice butts for sure.
Yeah.
But, some people still don't want to expose themselves.
That's fair.
It's a personal
Teach
choice,
their own. So was that the titular joyride? That walk to the diner naked?
That's the joyride.
Titular.
You remember? This is so stupid. Do you remember in Die Hard with a Vengeance when he has to wear the sign out in the the guy makes him put on the sign? They need to wear one of those signs as they're walking to the diner that says, want a joyride? Sorry, that was dumb.
That's funny. Yeah.
That was so dumb.
While they're in the diner, he talks to her and he gives her directions. So when they follow the directions, they go to the cornfield.
Yeah.
So
Rusty Nail is very organized in a sense. He seems very good at tracking. He's painting the signs, but then he kind of where he's leading them, his design feels very loose. He plays it very loose, like, okay, go to a cornfield. I don't know. It doesn't feel as contained as some of his other approaches are.
I don't think so. I mean, that's scarier than being contained.
That's fair.
If you're in a building or you're, you know what I mean? Like, you know where you are, you know where he is. Yeah. But if you're in a cornfield...
Yeah, you don't know where that giant semi is.
Yeah, you're running around aimlessly and he's driving, and ultimately he gets Venna, which is what he wanted.
That's fair.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I may be, again, a little too confident in my saying this, but I feel like it would be easy to like dodge and run away from a semi truck.
Yeah, they make it harder for themselves than it is.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a true story about being in a cornfield. When I did my internship, remember when I got lost in the woods?
Yeah.
Okay. This takes place in the same time frame. I did my internship there for a couple of months. I lived there. I lived down there with those 2 other interns. So myself and one of the other interns, we had to go do samples of soils from different farms that were on the wildlife refuge. The day after it rained, we had to do one in a cornfield. And it was one of the worst fucking days of my life.
Why?
Walking through that cornfield.
Sure.
It was all wet. It was smacking me in the face. The leaves are sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got like a texture
cut,
on them.
My arms and my face were fucking cut the fuck up.
Oh.
So unless it is designed for a corn maze, a cornfield is not easy or fun to maneuver around in.
Yeah.
I mean, just ask Charlie Sheen in Scary Movie
fair.
3. when he's running through the cornfield, she keeps hitting him in the nuts.
Yeah, I feel it. It sucks. So,
let's take it out of the cornfield for a second. Say you're getting chased by a semi, just an open parking lot. We're just in a big open parking lot and the semi is chasing you. Don't you feel like, yes, it would be fast and yes, but like it takes a little bit to get going. It's so big that I feel like you could make like sharp little turnarounds and it would be like, oh, got to turn around now.
It's like a velociraptor versus a T-Rex.
sure, but it's apples and oranges.
Which I guess
I mean, he chose the cornfield because he didn't want them to have any. In the cornfield, they don't have a sense of direction at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't look over and see what's on your left. You can't look over and see what's on your right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's why he chose the cornfield. Because, if you're going, yes, it might be easy to get out of the way. You might know where the truck is, but I still think it would be harder because you.
And I guess we do get a lot of low
you
angles on them, kind of a little bit from above.
Yeah.
So maybe our perspective is just clearer.
I was just going to say, like, maybe I'm just saying that because when they show the corn stalks, they're like above their heads.
Yeah.
But we're just like seeing it from above so we can see what's going on as an audience and we see the truck and I'm like, okay, just whatever. But yeah, you may not see it until the last minute. And
we're literally doing what I do when I watch Survivor, where you have all the information that you could possibly need, but then you forget that everyone else only has their personal information. So you're like, why are you trusting him? He just lied. You're like, well, he doesn't know he lied. He's not watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets Venna. He takes her to the hotel room and.
Yeah. Wow. So the climax minus the ending bit that we talked about earlier, that climax is intense.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's very, very tense. Very.
A little jigsaw-y kind of. In the way that he kind of sets the trap.
Yeah, it is. And even knowing that she doesn't die, it's still like, the whole time it's like so close. Oh my God, there's so many people that almost opened that door.
Yep.
Well, I, having not remembered this, how it played out from seeing it in 2001, I had a good feeling that she was going to get shot.
Oh.
And so it was actually very tense for me because I didn't know. Somewhere in my head, I was like, "Oh yeah, she gets killed, doesn't she?" And so, oh man,
that's
crazy.
Funny.
And then, Danny, here is your, if I'm not mistaken, this is your second Silence of the Lambs reference minus Ted Levine.
When they break in,
you've seen Silence of the Lambs, right?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Minor spoiler alert or major, I guess.
Exactly. Major spoiler alert for Silence of the Lambs if you haven't seen it. This kind of does the same fake out where they're going into the room, they're cutting between the door handle and Venna, and it's like very suspenseful as they're turning the doorknob and you're looking at the trigger and all this stuff. And then they are in a different room.
Yeah, done very
Same
well.
thing happens in Silence of the Lambs. It's
I didn't
different
even
house,
realize.
The climax.
I forgot about that in Silence of the Lambs.
Rusty, I was like,
that
what
was
a
cool.
flick.
Fooled him again.
Fooled him again.
Got him.
Yeah. And it shows her too trying to get the nails, like she's trying to figure out a way to get out of there. She keeps trying to take the little nails out of the chair, but she keeps dropping them, those damn little nails.
What's she going to do with a little nail?
What was she going to do with it?
She needed a rusty nail. Yeah, I mean, she was like,
she's just like, just poking it.
No, all she had to do was lift her hand up and like cut the edge of that tape, and she would have been able to open it.
Yeah,
you think?
Yeah, and her hands, that like packing tape like that. If you just get a tiny rip in the end of it, you can tear it apart.
Okay, I guess in the production they didn't use tape for obvious reasons or for many reasons, but they used like a Saran wrap kind of thing that looked like tape. So that she wouldn't be all sticky and they'd be able to get it off easier.
I could tell, actually, when he was wrapping it around her head that it was not tape.
Okay. Yeah.
But, it's me, tape expert.
From Casey's Crime Corner to Casey's Tape Tavern.
You guys want to know about tape? I know about all kinds of tape. Not really.
They find out it's a different room. Rusty Nail and Venna are in the next room over, kind of redoing the prank that they played on him. And in this very intense climax, what's his name? Oh, Fuller goes around the back of the hotel, sneaks in the window, gets attacked by Rusty Nail, stops Lewis from opening the door, but gets that pipe through his leg.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then
that would have killed him.
You think?
Oh, that was right where his femoral artery is.
Okay, yeah.
He would have bled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
maybe it depends, I guess, how quickly the ambulance and stuff would have gotten there. But based on, I feel like it doesn't take long,
Yeah. And then he dragged him out and hung him up on the fence with that pipe still in his leg.
Yep. So he couldn't get away
God.
when he was going to fucking run him over.
Yeah. Yeah. So that goes back to the question earlier. Did he put the dead body so he must have went back and got that body out of the truck from the ice machine, from the ice truck.
Yeah, probably.
Which I guess
it
is
was
kinda
just right after
convenient. He's got the storage and he can keep him fresh with the ice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he must have just strapped him up and somehow got him to drive straight into the building.
What is Rusty Nail's work schedule en route? How is no one accounting for or is he doing all this on off hours?
Danny, I think Rusty Nail, just given his personality, might own his own rig and just kind of drives around and does.
Yeah, I don't think
thing.
he works for a company.
I don't think he. Yeah.
No.
What if he was night and day when
he's like a FedEx driver?
Yeah. What if he's the friendliest FedEx driver when he's on the clock? He's just Nail. He's not Rusty.
Oh, that's kind of like what's his name from Wolf Creek?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That guy. What was his name? I forget his name, but the villain in Wolf Creek. Wolf Father. Casey's.
No, Mick Taylor.
Mick Taylor. That's right. Mick Taylor. Yeah, he was very charming and charismatic and all that, and then he turned out to be a psycho. But
just like Ted Bundy.
Yeah, it's probably true because Ted Levine's character Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs was kind of like that. He kind of was not. I mean, he wasn't charismatic, but he was
so funny.
But he was
he was kind of
he was approachable.
Yeah.
All I see in my head is his tuck and himself talking to himself in the mirror. So.
Do the line, Casey.
So sympathetic. He's so.
I know.
No.
Yeah, I know it.
There's too much.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me.
If you're a police officer and you bust into this room where Paul Walker, Lewis, you bust into this room where this stranger, Lewis, has Venna, another stranger, tied up in a chair with tape around her all wherever. And
they would have shot him so fast. He
runs away. They just chase him. And then when they get out there, Lewis just says, "Not me, shoot the truck." And the cops are like, okay,
sure.
So
just start shooting the truck.
Not only that, but at the same time, they didn't even notice the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until he pointed at it. Giant, it's dark, it's giant, loud 18-wheeler with its headlights on.
Yeah.
And they didn't even notice it until they're like, oh, wow.
That's this whole movie is anytime the truck isn't on screen, no one sees it.
Nobody notices.
It's always a jump scare. It's "Brrr," and you're like, oh my God.
It's he drives so slow against that tree, but that's how he has to creep up on people. Oh, I don't think they make electric semis yet.
My Fiat is really loud because it's so small. The engine is basically on my knees when I drive. It's so loud in my car, but I love her.
Man. So then we get the finale. You find out that Rusty Nail is quote unquote dead. They get to the ambulance and the CB radio comes on and you find out that it's Rusty Nail. And you're like, wait a second, I thought he was dead. But no, he's very much alive. And he says right before the screen cuts to black, and I got so pissed and my jaw dropped because I couldn't believe that they ended the movie like this. I was like, I
love
enjoyed this movie so much. And then the ending happened. And I was like, no, you didn't. Fuck you.
I loved it.
But Rusty Nail says, looking forward to the storm, keeps everybody inside, washes everything clean.
What if at the end we're supposed to believe that Rusty Nail got away, but like when you hear him on the CB, it's like, oh shit! But we look up and he's still in the truck and he's just talking in the CB radio, like right next to them.
Dead.
He's like, over.
Look up here.
Look up here. Look up here.
What movie is that when he's like,
look
you
at
don't
me.
have to make the sound?
Hey.
Oh, that's I think that's the same reference. Isn't that Saving Silverman?
Oh yeah, it is.
Alarm system has been deactivated. Out.
Roger that.
Dude, you don't have to do the sound. It already does that. Out.
Copy that. I'm not gonna make the sound after I say stuff from now on. JD McNugent, over and out. That was the last one.
Oh my god, 2 Saving Silverman references.
All right. So, are you guys ready to talk about our favorite reveals of Joyride?
Let's fucking
Yeah,
do
let's
it, bro.
do it.
What's going on here?
I don't see anything anywhere. That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
Okay. So there are a few reveals that I found in Joyride of a few different times when we meet Rusty Nail. So I've got Rusty Nail introducing himself during the opening CB, the first time we were in a CB conversation with some other truckers. Mm-hmm. I've got when we briefly see him outside the hotel window, you see like a figure start to walk up and then they close the curtains real quick. Yeah. When he surprises the brothers the next morning on the CB and he says like, they realize that he's still like, he knows who they are. Mm-hmm. The whole taillight scare, your taillight's out. On the dirt road, when he plows through the ice truck, there's another reveal when he flashes the lights and the horn and he pushes them against the tree, because at that point it's like quiet and you kind of think he's gone. So I kind of counted that as 2 reveals. One of the ones that I really like is when he calls the hotel room phone and Lewis is like passed out drunk. But as soon as he hears his voice, he is like up and like sober. We're going like, holy shit. All that adrenaline just like
Sucked out the tequila.
Sucked it all out. Then you get the cornfield. You get the hotel room where you actually see him in physical form and the CB in the ambulance at the end. What is your favorite reveal?
Mine is probably Against the Tree, just because that's my favorite part of the movie.
Okay. Danny?
The ice truck when it blasts through.
Okay.
I thought that was like the first time we really see like the power of the truck.
Oh, that's a good point.
Cinematic.
Yeah, because I was going to say the tree as well, just because it scared me so much. Like when he turns on the lights and blows the horn. Mm-hmm. What if it was like a haringa?
Like a funny horn? Is that
Yeah.
Just like a
Yeah.
like
Like those things that you do on like a bike horn.
hey, that was great.
That was
Yeah,
perfect.
I'm really good at
the
it. It's
hell?
really weird. I used to do it when I worked for Little Caesars. I used to annoy the fuck out of everybody when I did it.
Can you do it again?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very stupid, useless talent. But here we are.
Zach, what do you got?
I was going to go with the tree because like it's the horn blows on and everything. But Danny, like you are kind of right when it blasts through the truck, where it's like, that's the first time you're like, this guy isn't fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is out to get us, because before he could have just been like toying with them. Well, no, because then you already know that he killed
the guy's jaw off.
Yeah. So that's not completely accurate.
Yeah. I just
I'm
chose
going to stick with the
truck itself.
Yeah. The truck being a physical like threat.
Yeah.
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 What if the truck ripped the guy's jaw off? Like, I don't know.
It's like when you, it's like Rusty Nail was just trying to be really nice to the guy because he found out that he had a loose tooth, and he's like, "Here, we'll just tie this string around your tooth, and I'll just drive.
Tie it around your tooth. It's fine."
And then he drove away, and he just ripped.
They're like,
and then
it's going to be so quick.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, whoops."
Ooh boy,
drank too much pink champagne.
No. Okay, so now it's time for a segment that we like to call The Real Monster. What the fuck?
That was my house again.
What happened?
Surprise! There was a car horn honking.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah,
I thought that was you.
He said the real monster. Honk honk.
That's fine.
My great neighborhood. This morning across the street, because there's like bikers all over the place, there was a Harley Davidson just that fell over, laying on its side.
Oh no!
Street.
Did Pee Wee do it?
I don't know. I sent it to my friend Elia, and she was like, "Well, at least he got home." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably what happened. So he probably drove home drunk."
I say we kill him. I say we hang him, then we kill him. I say we stomp him, then we tattoo him, and then we hang him, and then we kill him.
Is that from Pee Wee?
I say you let him go. Yeah. Sorry.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster.
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me.
Okay, so I have Mr. Ellinghouse for being a racist piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right? When he is yelling at the hotel manager for being from a different country.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've got the cop who might be like a sheriff that we see briefly in the interrogation room for saying the R word, obviously.
Yes. Yes.
I do have Fuller on my list of real monsters just because we all know
Fuller.
He's Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should say this one. I don't even want to say it.
No, say it. Don't do that to us.
It sounds weird coming out of my mouth. The first real monster that I wrote down was Pussy.
In what way?
Because
like pussycats? What's new, pussycat?
Because
Is it because he's so pussy whipped that he has sold his plane ticket for a car and he's driving across the country for the girl?
Well, not so much that like he's whipped, but like guys will do anything.
Yeah, he's pussy whipped.
I thought that meant something different.
No, it means you'll do anything for poon.
What's the equivalent for gay men?
Dick whipped.
Dick whipped. Well, he's
I just
like.
Pictured I'm sorry.
A whip.
I just
that is a dick.
Pictured a dick and a thing of heavy cream, just making whipped cream.
Oh, I was picturing like a giant, like Indiana Jones, but his whip is just a giant penis. Like, whoosh.
Oh no, I'm a fat ass, so I thought of whipped cream.
So wait, was yours dunking into the Cool Whip or like ejaculating Cool Whip?
No, the dick itself was stirring heavy cream to make whipped cream.
Oh my god, it's worse than either.
Homemade whipped cream.
Oh,
it's attached to a KitchenAid.
So it's funny.
Anyway.
You had that thought. Danny had the thought of like Indiana Jones's whip just being a huge penis, and I thought of a guy with a very long penis that he has to roll up like a whip.
All right, listeners, vote in our poll on Instagram. Which one do you think is the best use of a dick whip? Now, what do you think of when you think of Dickwit? Caller, you're on the air.
Oh my god!
Oh my
the
god!
best use of a dick whip.
Okay, so
Cream,
what's a
of course.
better term for
being pussy whipped?
No, for just pussy in general.
Vagina?
Vagina.
Yeah. You know, anything other than the word pussy. Hoo-ha, cooter, vagina, vagige, vag, nature's pocket. There's all kinds of things.
Nature's pocket. I love that.
Nature's pocket.
Nature's Valley. Ooh, crummy.
Nature Valley bars. So that is my real monster. Because it's got a lot of power.
It does.
And
that pussy power.
Yep. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, same. Because gays hate vaginas.
Yeah.
They look like monsters.
Dicks look like monsters too.
Yeah, just a different variant.
Yeah. Dicks are angry. So I have Fuller because he's Fuller, like we talked about. Mm-hmm. And then this one's kind of rude, but you know, I'm like very detail oriented and stuff, so I like notice a lot of things. So Officer Atkins, however he pronounces it, he's the one who like questions them as soon as that guy is fucked up. So one of his front teeth is fake. And it really bothered me, and I could tell because it was really white, and then the rest of his teeth weren't. Which I don't care if you don't have white teeth, that's whatever, but it just really stood out because, like...
I don't like that either.
Yeah. He's got to fix the color on that thing. Mm-hmm. That's all.
He needs to refreshify his tooth coloring.
Refreshify.
Yeah. And you work in a dentist's office, so you are attuned
I don't work
to
in a
things.
dentist's office. I work in a
You
dental
work in
lab.
a sculpting, a dental lab.
Dental lab, yes.
Dental lab, so you are attuned to those types of things.
Yeah.
Danny, what do you have?
My first two are exactly the same as yours, Zach. I have the racist motel guy. I have the sheriff who uses the R word. I will add Fuller because, like, I really was sort of taken by Steve Zahn's charisma, or Riz, as the kids might say these days. He was all Riz. On God, no cap. No, but my third one that I have written down is whoever was the hotel manager of the last motel in the finale, for how poorly they kept the little back alleyway of the motel.
Oh my God. Yes.
I was
It was just
like
their junk.
astounded by how disgusting it was.
Yep.
It was like a horror walkthrough.
I worked for a hotel that had one of those.
Was it like that?
Parts of it, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, it was.
I guess I can't
fucking
fault
gross.
this individual then. I'll fault motels, messy motels in general.
I would fault the owner.
Okay. The
'Cause
messy
ultimately
owners
that's
of
kind of their fault.
various motels and their lack of upkeep in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a mess. And dangerous too, because
Very
all you did,
dangerous.
like, if you fall out of a window, you are very likely to get a pipe through your leg.
Mm-hmm. Which
Yeah.
Casey said could literally kill you.
Rusty nail, rusty pipe.
Yeah, am I
Rusty
right?
pipe.
Yeah, he's been running away from the wrong rust.
So that is Joyride. We have taken the Joyride. Do you guys have anything else to add about Rusty Nail or the joy of a ride he took us on?
To be honest, I don't think I learned any lesson because after watching this movie, I'm like, I want a CB radio and I want to prank call people.
And I would definitely pull a prank on a trucker.
Like that's the first thing I would do.
Okay, listeners, we want to know what you think of Joyride or Joyrides 2 and 3 if you have seen them, because we have not, and we are interested to see where the whole Rusty Nail saga goes. So find us on Twitter and Letterboxd at I Met Your Monster, and on all the other social media platforms at How I Met Your Monster. Now, before we go, where can our listeners find you two on social media?
You can just go to any social media and search Wolf Mother Casey. I might be on there, I might not.
Are you on Truth Social?
I don't know. They'll have to find out.
God, I hope not.
Why? I want to discover the truth, Zach.
Ugh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's fucking Donald Trump's social media. Danny?
You can find me on Citizen because I'm frequently committing crimes and being reported. No, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Danny Salem. Danny, spelled D-A-N-N-Y, Salem, S-A-L-E-M-M-E. That's 2 M's like the candy, melt in your butt, not in your hand.
Wonderful. And you can find me on social media at Zach Winsick. Make sure to tune in next episode because we're hitting the road one last time with Rob Savage's Dash Cam. Danny, that's your pick for our Car Trouble to round out the triple feature.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed Host, and I hear Boogeyman is really good too. So I'm kind of excited. I don't even know what Dash Cam is about, so I'm excited to
be honest,
watch it.
I actually don't either. I know the basics of it. There's driving, there's live camming, whatever you call it. But I don't know, like, is it supernatural? Is it not supernatural?
Those are the only 2 options.
Yeah. Well, to find out, you can either watch the movie or you can listen to next episode, or you can do both.
Or both.
We would prefer both. So because we like to share things.
We go both ways.
Be like, watch the movie as we're talking about it and see if you can keep up.
Yeah. Or the straight version is watching the movie first. The gay version is listening to the podcast first. And the bi version is doing them at the same time.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly. So until then, thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.